Thank you for staying with us. It is still iBrand Daybreak, your #1 day starter, and it's time to talk money. Whether you eventually want to become your own boss or you just want to generate some extra income to pad your savings each month, choosing to start a business on the side is the best way to test your way into finding the right opportunities for making money by putting your skills to good use. Now, we will be having a conversation on this topic with Rotimi Babalogbon, lead consultant, Fourth Law Consultant Limited, who will be joining us via the phone this morning. Thank you so much, Rotimi, for joining us.
Yeah, good morning. Thank you. Thank you for inviting me. It's a pleasure.
Good morning to you. Now, let's talk about skills. What is the role of skill in getting multiple streams of income?
Okay. I think sometimes skills are overrated in that role, because the first thing you need is recognition, which in itself is a skill, but it's not the kind of skill that is quantifiable like the other regular skills. So, yeah, it's a bit of a contradiction though. So, the most important skill, if I thought of any skill, it is a role of skills, is the skill of recognition, because a lot of times, from my experience in business, I've been in business for, 20 years and a few weeks. I started business in March 29, 2002. And over all these years, I had little skill then. To them, I had a lot of skills. And I realized that over all those things, the most important skill is the skill of recognition. So,
but isn't that changing the definition or scope of skill? Because skill is something that has to do with person, the individual involved. Recommendation has to do with a referral, what someone says about you, which of course is based on what you possess, your skill, isn't it?
Yeah, that's skill.
Yes,
but in our Nigerian world, the role of skill is minimal, I'll be honest to you. Okay. Yeah, it is minimal. I use the word minimal because Nigeria is a place where brokerage is normal. So brokerage is when you know who has a skill and you can fit in between. So you take a project you cannot undo because you know someone that has a skill. Yeah, so somewhere along the chain, someone with skill has to be involved. But brokerage is allowed in Nigeria. In some other countries, there are projects you cannot take if you do not directly own a skill related to the field. But in Nigeria, you can almost take a surgery as a contract in Nigeria. It's bad. So I hope I've answered the question. It's a bit, in a standard environment, the skill is the most important thing. In Nigeria, the skill can be one part of skill. Yeah, but skill is important in getting opportunities.
But isn't that part of the problems we're dealing with in the society, where you recommend someone for a job, but the person isn't built or isn't skilled enough to take on the job?
It is a problem. It is a big problem in the society, yeah. You have that spot. It is a big problem.
Okay, let's look at this. I understand you're looking at it from the Nigerian, business angle, or the realities of our, commercial value. For those who have skills now and they're trying to turn that into a profitable side business, what are the tips or what are the skills you can easily advocate can be turned into a profitable side business?
Okay, virtually every skill can be turned into a side business. Yeah, virtually every skill, from food tasting. But if I was to just describe quickly how to monetize the skill you already have, you need to first of all look at which skills are transferable. Number one, what are the skills that not everyone has? What makes a business from a skill is something that other people cannot do. Almost everyone can eat by themselves. So, I saw a post yesterday about a lady who is paid tens of thousands of dollars to help people name their babies. So she's able to come up with fine names. Yeah, so in Nigeria, it might not be a skill yet, but very soon it will be. So first thing is to monetize your skill or to turn it into a side business. You need to look at what aspects of your skill other people cannot do easily by themselves. That's the first thing. And the second thing is, how do you communicate your skill to people? So even though you can do it, people need to know you can do it. A lot of times, they only know you can do it when they have seen it. So it means you need to start cataloging times you've done it, even if you were not paid for it. So take a picture, do a video, get people that you do it for, even if it's for free, to mention it on Facebook, on Twitter, or to their friends. Because ultimately, what makes your skill a side business is once people are able to or willing to pay for it. And they are not going to be willing if they don't consider it valuable. And, value is subjective. So, what gets people fast?
Let me take a cue from what you just said.
People didn't know.
Okay.
Yeah, go on.
All right. Yeah, so talking about paying for it, I'm sure you've heard the statement, skill is not enough. There is a place of training, you're building your innate abilities to meet the requirement or the needs of the day. Now, what is a place of training? And when it comes to you having to pay for this training, this is someone who maybe is trying to make ends meet, and you're trying to maybe get more money. But you're being asked, you're being required to pay for a training that would help you build that skill that will help you get more money. As they say, you need money to get money. That's the statement in some quarters. But what is a place of training, and when the demand comes for you to have to pay to get the training and you don't have the money, how do you balance or how do you meet up that need?
Okay, well, I will speak from personal experience. I've had multiple trainings when I didn't have money to pay. So I'll tell you the first training I had in stock markets in 2003. So the facilitator required people to pay to participate, but his assistants didn't show up. I went there hoping I could say, okay, how can you help me? I'll pay later. But I was outside. Now, he came with some books. The assistant, for some reason, didn't show up. It couldn't be reached. And demanded someone to help him sell his books at the entrance. So I volunteered. So, and they said, okay, you're selling. I saw the eagerly because I was also able to ask a few things, get pointers. So when I offered to help him sell his books, it allowed me to class for free. I mean, I've attended more than 5 trainings like that, being willing to assist.
Okay.
So always, rule number 1 is get there super early. There will always be something they want to do, somebody to help them set
In
up
other
the
words,
board,
you will always have
projectors
something
not
to
working.
offer.
So usually that's what I do. And I found out that, in even very, very complex things. I went for a training in Dubai, and we went there after the day 1 session, so that they were trying to strike down for the second day. I went in, took some numbers, assisted them. Next day, I was allowed to take classes that were for sales. Yeah, even in Dubai. So surprisingly, there is always room for someone who is willing to go the extra mile. Like I said, you have to get there very early. Those openings close up once people arrive. So those are always openings in virtually every training. If you show up 2-3 times, I've had trainings where a guy who came to deliver food attended my class. Because after I delivered the food, the student and was listening. I said, hey, you want to learn? Sit and join the class. He only came to serve food to my trainees. Yeah, so because I've been a beneficiary, I give it out. So when you have faced with trying to learn and you don't have the money, still show up or show up super early. I mean, show up if possible 2 hours early. Be there, stand ready. Tell them, hey, hi, good morning, I'm here to assist you any way you can. Don't worry, you don't have to pay me. Always say that. And then, yeah, because you will not always have money for training. But if you go there 2-3 times, eventually they will let you in or somebody will pay for you.
Okay, so
It always happens, yeah. But you need training to scale up. Always need training to come up.
Okay, so you're advocating volunteering as a means of personal development regarding attending of trainings and what have you. There's the place of having the skill. There's the place of transmitting that into a profitable side business. So for those who have the skills required, how do they transmit that into a profitable side business, aside the issue of publicity, which you mentioned earlier, in terms of marketing themselves?
Okay, well, these days it's a lot easier. There are sites like Freelancer, Upwork, and similar sites that allow you to connect remotely to opportunities. So there are services outside of country, but due to physical distance, you cannot benefit from them. So first things first, find out what your skills are called. I mean, there's a word I learned yesterday. It's called OSINT. OSINT is open source intelligence. I'd seen it before on CNN, but I didn't understand, so I went to read about it. And I was like, for another friend who does it, so I sent him the script and I said, look, this is what you do. normally. Do you know it's called OSINT? So I think the first thing is, if you want to monetize, find out what your skills are called, the industry name for it. Then go online. I mean, we're in 21st century. Go online, and look for opportunities if they're in your locality, if they're not, and then get in touch. So if anyone wants to convert a skill to a side also, first thing is standardize it. I mean, there are things people do in a construction firm, but in tech they are called product development. More in construction, they have a different name. So you might see that then you're not qualified. So if you know what it's called in your industry, in other industries, it helps a lot. Because a lot of times, people tend to learn many transferable skills without even realizing it. And when they're trying to do side business, they're confining themselves too small. So to move your skills to side business, you need to figure out what are the skills you have, what are those skills called in different industries. That's really the most important first step anyway, before publicity. So you can now say, hi, I'm a project manager, because you have the skills of a product manager, even though you were not in the tech space, for instance. You were a designer in publishing, it's called user interface, UI. So it's similar to what we call UI in tech. But in graphics and pretty word, they call you graphics designer. So, but it's the same thing. So find out what your skills are called, and the other skills, find out the names so that you can introduce yourself appropriately and you can search online. I mean, searching online is key, but searching with the right words, the right terms is really, really important. So, yeah. So the most important thing is find out what it's called, search for it online on the freelancer websites or similar sites, and around your locality, LinkedIn, and before you try to do anything.
You also talked about looking at what you can do better than others, because of course that skill you possess is not just possessed by you. There are several other people who have the same skills. Talk to us about ways by which you can discover that part of you or that innate ability that may not be common to every other person out there.
Okay, you mean how to discover that thing you have on an edge?
Yes.
Okay, well, of course, it starts with taking an inventory of things you know you can do, but then you now look at what are things you can do faster than others, because sometimes you really may not know what you do better than others. So until you start indexing them by a standard or a benchmark. So look at situations you have been in. I'm trying not to, I'm almost from the tech side. So look at things you've done at the same time with other people and see which ones you did faster. So I'll give another personal experience. I had the set to build some time back, and the client brought someone from South Africa to inspect, and then the man asked me, how long did it take you to do this? I said 10 days. He said this would have taken 1 month in my country. We all laughed and they went on.
Hello?
Hello?
Okay, we seem to have lost audio connection with you.
Yes, but I think from what he has said thus far, he talked about the need, to be more active online in terms of connecting with various opportunities, selling yourself. And more importantly, for you to turn your skills to a profitable business, you have to be good with what you do so that you get referrals, because recommendations in this part of, the word sell more. So, but
I'm also more interested in soft skills, because you can have all the skills, you can be a tech guru
and
all the skills that people need. But what about soft skills like punctuality, soft skills like integrity, soft skills like you saying what you mean and doing what you say? Many times, a lot of, especially when you talk about artisans, they have skills. When you talk about mechanics, fashion designers, there are some exceptional ones.
But they honest.
But they honest. Do they bring what? Do they give you your product as and when due? Do they tell you? Do they tell you the situation on ground? A lot of shady deals, a lot of dishonesty. It actually makes you lose that job even faster than the skill and the expertise and the experience that you have.
Exactly, and I think again, you have to look at it from the realities that we have down here in terms of the commercial space. The way people approach businesses at times, especially as you said, artisans, is nothing to write home about. When you realize that they have to, they deliberately deceive or lead on. When just to maximize profit. You talked about probably your generator repairer. rather than repair everything at once and the cost is 5,000 naira,
They
you know,
repair it by
repair
installments.
installments. It will tell you one is 3-5.
Just to make more money.
You know, or he wouldn't do it well, and then he knows that in another 1 or 2 weeks you call him back. So all of these things, as you said, those soft skills, place of honesty, punctuality, the fact that okay, I need my good delivered by Friday and I get it by Friday. All of those things
They
also
go a long way.
they go a long way in terms of conduct. You know, it's not just about having the expertise in terms of being the guru in terms of that skill, but also the place of you having the conduct to back up the skill.
Oh, well, we might not be able to join Mr. Rotimi Babalogbon anymore, but if we, of course, he has already made the point, and I'm sure you've been able to get 1 or 2 things, especially when it comes to using your skills to make money. We'll take a short break now. When we come back, we will be taking Sports Update with Samson. Please stay with us.